Hey there, comic friends, I'm Travis. It's time for the edition of Monster Comic Reviews, where I talk about books that have to do with superheroes. This is for the week of September. Doing it again. I'm going to learn one of these times. Not to have to look at my calendar. September 3rd. Yeah, that's what it is, September 3rd. So we're going to jump right into the books. First off, we're going to talk about Batman Eternal issue number 22. New person's been added to the script and the whole Batman Eternal thing. Kyle Higgins. I don't know if he's going to regularly fill John Layman's place, because of course John isn't working for DC anymore. He's off back to working on just his own books. I think that Kyle is a great addition here. Wasn't super excited by his Nightwing book, but I've really liked his other Batman stuff. He wrote a miniseries called Batman Gates of Gotham. He wrote the script and whatnot with some help from Scott Snyder. He's kind of came into the DC, writing DC books under the Scott Snyder umbrella, kind of like Tinian and stuff. But I think the biggest reason why he's writing this is because the Architect character who shows up last issue, and in this one is a character that he created, I believe, or at least he wrote about a whole bunch in that miniseries. He is a great-grandson or something like that of some of the architects who actually built Gotham per directions of the Waynes and the Cobblepots and all of them. So he's got kind of an interesting history himself with the whole Gotham and how it's constructed and all of that. So I enjoyed the story. I liked the writing that was in it, the dialogue, what's happening. It is interesting. I'm still not buying into the whole Hush as being the main person in here. We get some conversation with the other really interesting part about this is we get Penny 2. Of course, Penny 1 is Alfred. Alfred got severely drugged last issue and is basically comatose. And so we have Alfred's daughter is kind of filling that role, which now lets us know way back in Batman issue number 25, when we had this kind of glimpse at the future of what this book was going to be. We had somebody in the Batcave that we weren't sure who that was. We were all guessing who that is. Now you pretty much know who that is. I'm not real happy with the fact that once again, somebody else knows what Batman's identity is. That part I don't care for, but I do. I think she's going to be interesting, because I think she's going to challenge Batman. Question more and push things, I think, which could be for some interesting stories going future, even past Batman Eternal. So that's pretty cool. Not a real big fan of the art. Art is by Lucas. I don't know if it's the penciling, the inking, the coloring, something about it wasn't real great for me, so wasn't excited about that part. But interesting story. Curious to see how they square away stuff with the Hush, because I just can't believe the Hush is the main person behind this. So yeah, looking forward to what's next, as always, with Batman Eternal. Next up, we're talking Captain America issue number 24. This issue is mostly a fight between Zola and the Falcon and Jet Black. Zola trying to convince Jet to go back into the fold. Falcon, of course, being the hero, trying to fight Zola. There's this massive bomb in there. Falcon does the right thing, the super heroic thing, flies up and looks like he blows up with the bomb. So how he's going to be Captain America, I have no idea. My understanding is the next issue, issue 25, is the one that actually has the new Captain America, and I believe that's the last issue I'm getting as the title relaunches with the new Captain America. It's okay. As I keep saying, I'm not a huge Captain America fan. That's why I'm going to end with this. It just seems like a logical place for me to stop as a new story starts. I was on it for the sci-fi Zola thing at the beginning of it. I like how this is tied back some of this stuff, which is interesting. Captain America's adopted kid, of course, is in this as an adult. We see his mother. Mother is an interesting tie-in, too. Pretty curious about that. But yeah, but as a whole, there's bits and pieces I've enjoyed. I really like the Jet Black character. I liked them when they were in Dimension Z. Since they've been back in the regular time, not so interested in Captain America. I am curious about him as being an old man, but it isn't like they're going to address that a whole lot. It's mostly going to be a focus on the new Captain America, which doesn't interest me. So, done with that. Speaking of another thing I'm done with, this is Justice League issue number 33. It's the last issue of Justice League that I am getting. I got it because it had Doom Patrol in it. I got the last issue because it had Doom Patrol in it. I was kind of excited, thinking that this is going to be an entryway for the new Doom Patrol and the new 52, and we'd quickly get an announcement of a new Doom Patrol book, so I wanted to catch the beginning of that. The Doom Patrol in this was meaningless. They could have been any other superhero group or group of people. Heck, they didn't even have to be superpowered, quite frankly, for that matter. They were just kind of there. Could have been interchangeable with anybody. Most of these characters in this could be interchangeable with anybody. Even the Justice League could have been interchangeable with whoever. In this issue, we get more of the Lex Luthor thing. Batman proposes that Lex Luthor, that they invite Lex Luthor in to join the group because it's better to have your enemies close. You know, keep your friends close, your enemies closer, kind of thing. Nobody really questions that in this. Everybody just kind of goes along with it. It's just, I don't know. Not a good book. I don't think Justice League has been a good book. I want Justice League to be a good book. I don't feel like Jeff Johns is really invested in this book. He's been known to write great team books with lots of character and be character driven. And this one's so not. And the plot isn't that interesting. So if the plot isn't interesting and it's not character driven, what's left for a book? I don't know. But not happy with that. Happy to be done with it. Unfortunately, because Justice League is one of those books that I have pretty much, at least in the modern era of me collecting, since I came back to collecting after I took my break, Justice League has been a book that I have always gotten. You know, I got it when Grant Morrison was on the book. That's when I started collecting it again, and I've just always gotten it. Whatever it was called, Justice League of America, JL, or whatever, I've always gotten it. And so this will be a break for me, you know, just like the break in Green Arrow. I just can't keep justifying collecting a book that really for 33 issues I haven't really enjoyed, except for very brief moments. So, there you go. Next up, She-Hulk, issue number 8. We get a regular artist back on the book, Pluto, however you say his name, which, you know what, I love now. You know, don't ask for a new artist because you never know what you might get. Of the temporary artists we had for a while. Really enjoying this issue. This is a great, you get Steve Rogers shows up. He's the old man. We find out that he has been accused of murder, and he has come to the Gen to get representation. And of course, she's gonna take it on. You don't say no to Steve Rogers, Captain America. And it's just a great book. You find out that this is a murder that happened 40 years ago. There's some technicality that allows them to actually pursue charging murder charges against them. He's being sued basically over it, more so than I think it's a legal thing. I think it's a civil case, not a because it doesn't make sense. Who ends up being the lawyer against Jennifer doesn't make sense if it's a state case as opposed to a civil case. So he must be getting sued for damages. And of course, everyone's concerned because Captain America is like 98 years old now. They're all afraid he's going to die, and they don't want the last thing of Captain America's legacy to be a murder trial. So they're all concerned and really working hard to make sure that doesn't get screwed up or whatever. The great thing is, the very end of this, after she's studied a whole bunch and is all ready to go, she goes storming into the courtroom, and the person she's going to be going up against, the person that's representing the plaintiff, is Matt Murdock, Daredevil. So if you're real curious to see how it all plans out, I'm excited for that story. Great story, lots of fun, enjoyable book. Superior Foes of Spider-Man. This is issue 15. I believe there's 2 more issues left. I think this is done at 17. This issue was okay. It didn't have as many funny moments in it, but it's just interesting to see how it all coming to an end. The biggest funny in this is they get towards the end of it, and they've decided, you know, look, we finally got the big score. You know, as long as we all stick together and nobody screws anybody else over, it's going to be great. We're all going to get our payday. they're finally going to be running this town, all that kind of great stuff. And of course, then the final pages end with every single person in the group selling everybody else out in it, you know, to one person or another. You know, the Beetle to her father, Speed Demon to Mystique, not Mystique, Miss Mask. And yeah, so I mean, it's just all of them are selling everybody else out. Cutting a deal without having anybody else in on it and whatnot. So I got 2 issues to see how that all pans out and what ends up becoming of them at the very end. Amusing. Definitely amusing. Anyway, that's it for superhero books. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next week. And maybe I'll have looked at my calendar and we'll know what week it is before I start a video. Probably not. I'll forget again. Anyway, have a great one, everybody.